Hi there, my name is Adriana and welcome to my channel. Today I am continuing to work in this Canson art journal which I have, and I already prepared it with gesso. This is the handmade gesso which I made, and it's very good because this art journal is not so thick and cannot tolerate a lot of mediums on it. These papers, actually I bought this at Simon Says Stamp. This is the pack of the papers. I'm not sure which company is this, and it was only 1.99 US dollars. So I thought, okay, now I can really use some of those papers, just to have something on the background. I wanted to play it, to have a different kind of combination of the colors, which I think that this paper has. I also use it with some soft matte gel from Prima Marketing. I already talked about this soft matte gel because it's very good, for thinner papers, but it actually can be used, for the thicker ones as well. So after I finished this background or this collaging with those papers, I thoroughly dry it, and when I dry it, of course it warped a little bit, but I really do not mind those kind of things in my art journal at all. I think it adds a little bit of handmade things, and where you have all these ups and downs, bubbles, etc. And it gives it a little bit, I don't know how to explain this in English, but it gives a little bit of grunginess, and I like that kind of style. I also use this homemade texture paste because I wanted those colors, just to be a little bit in the back, not to show those colors so much. After that, I use one of the Dina Wakley's stencils, and I used it with some this is the Lindys Gang Starbursts, and I used Mad Heather Mint, sorry. And afterwards you are going to see me use also the Hagsworth Orange, which I used on one of the Tim Holtz stencils. You see me a lot of time using this towel at the back because I really try to be much more conscious about the papers which I'm throwing away. So I also have this towel, I never wash it so far, so I think that I will also not wash it pretty much soon, because I think this is going to be used very much. After I dry everything, I just stamped those stamps. These are the Dina Wakley stamps, and this idea came to me when I saw one of the ladies which I watch on the YouTube, and I will put her link below, where she actually drew the flowers and just glued them. But I thought, okay, maybe I could really use one of my stamps with flowers. I really have a lot of them. So I just decided to stamp them and watercolor them. This paper which you see me use on the back is actually watercolor paper, and this is the hot pressed. When you're using a hot press watercolor paper, it is pretty much like a regular paper. Of course it can tolerate water, but it's not rough, it's not flowy, it's not bumpy, it's pretty much straight. And unfortunately I have three these books of all those papers, and I know that I don't like that paper, and I need to use it, you know, just maybe for this kind of things where I will just, you know, play with watercolors, but with the stamped images, because I don't like how I use the watercolors, you know, in pretty much intuitive way. I never know what I will do, and I don't like that this kind of paper is actually you need to draw with your watercolors pretty straight and pretty, it does not flow so much, you know, like on the cold press papers. So I will use them probably for this kind of things. And I can tell you, this kind of you know, just playing with watercolors and trying, you know, to have those shadings and etc. Is very, very relaxing. So at least for me, I'm not an expert for that, so my flowers usually tend to be pretty much in one color, but I'm trying to mix the colors, you know, just to be not exactly like the colors which I use on the background, but at least similar, and maybe a little bit bolder, so when I cut them, because I will cut them, they do not they complement the colors in the back, but also be a little bit different, because if everything is in the same color, this is not something that I like. So I tend to, you know, mix mix the colors and see what will happen. And of course, after drying everything and cutting, I left this smaller border on the edge. This is the idea also from this lady who made those flowers. I just glued them down with some this is the liquid multi-mono liquid glue from Tombow, and this is a very, very good glue. It is actually, you cannot, it's very, very sticky, so when you are using this glue, you need to pay attention not to go over the border, because otherwise it will stay sticky, and you just don't want that, you know, your images stick to another page. And of course I arranged everything, you know, placed where I want that my images and this quote stands. And after that I just, you know, rounded up the with some what do you call this, this is the football 1.5, this is from Ranger, and I just make some markings around the border and also around the quote. This quote is actually from this stamp set from Dina Wakley as well. So guys, this is it. I would like also now to thank you for watching my videos, for commenting and giving me a thumbs up, and I would really appreciate to give me a support also through the thumbs up in the future, as well as subscribing. And if you have any kind of questions or comments, please leave them below, and of course I will see you in another video. Bye.